Good, how are you?
Good. What are we called? Let's just get right to it. What are we going to be talking about, Cody?
Ghost stories!
Ghost stories.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
This is a classic. It's designed by Antoine Bauza. It's created quite a bit of games. It's 1 to 4 players. Takes about an hour. Cooperative game. You want me to lay it down, or do you want to lay it down? How do you want to do this? You and up to 3 of your buddies plays a group of Taoist monks, and your goal is to defend your village from an evil, ruthless demon by the name of Wu Fang. And on your turn, it's very simple. You have a yin phase and you have a yang phase. During the yin phase, any ghosts that are in front of you that have abilities will activate their abilities on their turn. And after that, you have the yang phase, which is the phase where you actually go and do your stuff. And all you do on your turn is you move, and then you can take an action or attack. Exercise, they call it. So, and you're moving around the village. All the villages have different actions and abilities that help you kill all these different ghosts, or again, exercise all these different ghosts. And what you're trying to do, all the ghosts are represented by a deck of cards. What you're trying to do is eventually get to the final boss, the incarnation of Wu Fang, and it's random. You seed it with a random final boss, and they all have their own different ways to like mess you up, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And you're working together to get through the deck, kill the final boss, and you don't even really need to know how to read to play this game, because
It's for the illiterate.
well, you can't say that. Yes, there's an iconography to learn.
Interpretation.
There's iconography to learn, but if you know what all the icons mean, you literally don't have to pick up the rule book. All the icons all mean something, and you play the game a couple times, you actually learn what all the icons mean. And when you're exercising a ghost, the main way you do that is you roll a set of dice, and all the ghosts have different colors on them. Some are green, some of them are...
Everything's color coordinated.
Everything's color coordinated.
With symbols. It really is made for someone who's just, like, dumb in the brain.
I don't know about that.
They can't read.
I can't say that this is made for someone dumb in the brain, because the game is very difficult.
Well, we consider ourselves pretty smart people, and we lost
Dumb in the
like
brain?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, the board is 4 character boards where you can place ghosts, and
Yep.
like every character has their own special ability.
And all of them are pretty good, too.
And then the main board where your characters are moving around is a 3x3 grid of tiles that are randomly sorted.
Yep.
And each tile has an ability that you can activate in place of exercising a ghost. You get 1 movement, and you can activate or exercise a ghost.
Yep.
And you have a couple other little tokens that you can, use to activate from afar or other things. But essentially, it is strategy. It is you're working together to kill these ghosts.
But
You're
you got a
working
lot of
together
random elements, too, with the dice. Yeah.
It is totally random. It is every time you play is like a different kind of. It's a crapshoot of what you're gonna come across. But it's fun that way.
Well, you're always going to have a random setup, because your tiles are going to be arranged differently.
The amount of ghosts or what ghosts come out
when, and then your final boss is going to be different. Also, like I said, this is actually one of my older games so it's survived many a cull at this point. It's still in my collection. I want to bring up something though. What do you think of the art of this game? I'm just curious.
I like it. There was a couple cards that came up, and I was like, oh, okay, I like it. It's kind of cartoonish. It's like...
Yeah, it's pretty horror, though.
It's... Yeah, no, it's like if Yu-Gi-Oh! Made a...
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, because like, it's kind of cartoonish looking. But, I don't know, I always... The art never popped up in my brain as something. It is fine art. Very colorful.
So it doesn't really... the art doesn't really register with you? I actually think it's kind of... it is cartoony. It's like a comic, but kind of, I guess.
Colorful.
But it is... I actually find the art... not that I care about such things, as you know, but just an observation. I actually find the art kind of surprisingly morbid. Okay. So, you have a yin phase and you have a yang phase. The beginning of the phase of a turn is you have the Ying phase. You look at your player board here. Now, if you have any ghosts that move, they're called haunters, I believe, then they'll move up on this little track here. If they ever get to this second track, then you flip a tile, and that means the tile's haunted. If there's ever 3 tiles haunted, then all players lose. You lose the game. Also, another ghost that can activate on your player board is if you have a ghost that causes you to roll a curse die. You roll a curse die, you take a negative effect. It is possible that you can roll a blank and not take a curse at all. After the Ying phase, next you have the Yang phase. That is the phase of the good stuff where your character goes. So you can either, well, first thing you can do is move. You can basically move like that or like that. Or you can exercise a ghost.
I recommended this game because I liked the theme. And I like this game. This is a fun game. Every time we've played it, I've enjoyed it. It's a very nice collaborative game. Some collaborative games we play, there's like a hint of like, your character has a secret mission that you can also win by doing your own thing. This is just pure collaboration.
It's pure cooperative.
You have to.
It's a really old cooperative game too. It came out in like 2008. I think.
You really have to work together.
But there's something about the game, the way it's laid out, and again, I think the iconography is part of it, that just makes you like just kind of trigger something or like unlock something in your brain. And it's like, oh yeah, this does that does that.
So what we're trying to say is if you don't get it just from the iconography, you're fucking moron. If you like games, you'll like this game.
Oh yeah.
But if you're not a non-gamer...
If you're not a non-gamer.
Yeah.
So if you're a gamer...
Yeah, sorry. If you're a non-gamer... they're not going to enjoy this.
For me, and I'm not saying this is a knock, because actions speak louder than words. For me, it says something that I haven't gotten rid of it yet, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, this game doesn't necessarily, like, stick out as a game that's one of my faves.
Yeah.
You know?
It's an old reliable, but not necessarily like a...
Like, I'm not...
it's not a go-to, but it's an old reliable.
Yeah, maybe because I've had it a while, too, and, like, I don't know, but, like, I'm not, like... And this sounds bad. I'm not necessarily, like, excited to play it.
Yeah.
But I'll play it. I'll always play it.
Yeah. What's your rating?
I think you know mine.
7.
Yeah. Which I feel like you're giving this an 8.5. I already biased you. Now you're thinking 8.5. You want me to guess? Really guess?
Guess.
8.
Fuck.
Welcome back! We're going to be talking about a spooky film for this half of the review. Does anyone want to guess? Are we doing the stupid guess thing?
So, we played a game with ghosts, hauntings, and an Asian aesthetic. What movie could we possibly talk about? Oh, also...
There's plenty of Japanese...
Okay, that I know. But we're adding the element that but Chris and I are kind of perverts. So if you incorporate... House. We watched House.
Not the 1985 version American horror movie of House. No.
No.
The 1977 Japanese horror film. Do you want to try your damnedest to give like just the setup of this film for our viewers?
Yeah. So this movie is about a
cat. Shows it on the box.
It's about a schoolgirl who lost her mother recently, and it's just her and her father. Her father brings in a new woman into their life. Doesn't super play into it, but the woman or the schoolgirl is upset enough to want to go and
Run away.
spend the summer away. She decides to reach out to her aunt, who she hasn't seen in quite a long time, and see if she can stay with her in her aunt's chateau, her property for the summer. Her aunt says yes, and she decides to bring all of her schoolgirl friends along.
And they
with
all
her.
have like it's very cartoony in that way because they all have like a silly like
If you're-
two-dimensional
if you're-
single
yeah.
characteristic, like the fat one, the smart one,
Yeah.
the ass kicker, the vain one. It's like literally their names are like Fantasy,
Yeah.
Doc, the fat one.
Fat one.
It's like who's not really that fat, by the way, but by Asian standards maybe.
They could have called her just American one.
So
So we
schoolgirls, they go to the
So-
aunts.
they go to the aunts, and
Hilarity ensues.
it's very clear that the aunt is
Something wrong.
Something's wrong with the aunt.
Something's wrong.
There's a
Something's
bunch
wrong.
of odd other characters that we can delve into, but essentially the main story revolves around these girls who are helping the aunt around this house, and they're just trying to enjoy their summer. The girls slowly start to go missing, and you kind of see why and how they go missing, and it is really just about a girl trying to get over the loss of her mother.
Oh wow,
and
you're getting deep with it.
and the aunt trying to. The aunt had lost a lost lover, and she is haunted by the loss of this lover, and
Okay,
all this sorrow.
That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, and it just spills into
Yeah,
this
yeah.
horror movie.
It's
and
almost
that's it.
like this kind of. It's kind of like a. It like I keep going back to like Scooby Doo, but it's almost like a dark horror
Cartoon.
like twisted Scooby Doo, really. But it's not like because it's silly. It's silly, right? But it's not like. But it's still dark, right? Like there's still an edge to it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like wacky like I mean. It's one of those movies that you're going in and you're watching and you're gonna get a lot of these what the fuck like moments.
And-
right? Like what the fuck or whoa, not in like that you would get in like an American like slasher film. No, more like a what the fuck from a David Lynch movie, right? But in a wacky Japanese horror way, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
So it's a combination of cultural differences in horror movies, time period differences, because this was made in like the 70s.
77. Yeah.
So it's 70s, it's a different culture that made the movie.
Right.
So there's a bunch of different elements that make you go,
Huh?
all right, this is interesting why they do this, but at the same time, then you'll get a very stark moment where you go, that was creepy, that was weird.
But then you'll definitely get
and then you'll get a moment where you're just like, what the fuck is up with all these watermelons? Like,
or you'll get like a moment where it's like, okay, they're being wacky now. There's no like
They're purposely trying to
there's
be
no
wacky.
there's no culture diff here or
And then also
or
it
time
just-
period thing. It's
I,
like whoa,
I don't
whoa,
know for sure, but
whoa.
I'm assuming this is like a low budget independent film because like then there's the all element of is it this made by a real professional because there's just a lot of weird choices like in the making
he's
of
directed a fair amount of things. I guess like originally though he was kind of known for, as I understand, in commercials. Just know in the future we're gonna be probably talking about the movie, okay? And spoilers. Just like there's this part. That song that they get a lot of mileage of, like over and over. Like,
That's the only song they play.
And there's like the part where she's like at the piano, and you see the skeleton like dancing in the
Yeah.
back.
But no, solid movie.
Yeah.
Solid, interesting, weird movie.
Yep.
What would you rate it?
All right. Hold on. I want to guess what you'd rate it first. I'm gonna say you rated it 7.5.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
No, 6. I'm gonna say you're gonna give it a 7.
8.
8. Wow. All right.
Yeah, I
you
really
pervert.
like. I really
All right.
like it. What the heck? It's a fun movie. Or like, man, I just want to slip my wrists after watching that. But I enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that and smash the and yeah. Secretary.
It doesn't matter. Who gives a
Secretary
fuck?
of the Treasury.
If we just YouTube ourselves up to Donald Trump's
There's
attention,
these two kids. I love these kids. They're funny kids. They're the best. They're the best kids.
they give the best reviews.
They're from Tacoma. I love